We are just days away from concert royalty.
Driver, don't stop at all.
As the Long Walk to Freedom tour touches down in Grenada.
Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money and thing.
The anticipation is building for the return of a living icon, Buju Banton.
Over the minute me waiting, I drive a fast car, but me not gonna let you.
Backed by his Shiloh band.
Test we know, you don't feel no one like how we rock the test we know, you don't feel no like how.
Also featuring reggae sensation Ghost with his band. And Sister Joyce from the UK. Your local stars gracing the stage on that night. Laura Lisa, Samantha Cole, Kevon Niles, aka Double Standard, and Kalia Benjamin with an accompanied appearance by Tevin Phillip, aka Triple. Get your tickets now from all advertised outlets. Sunshine Promotions in association with Digicel present A Night of Love Long Walk to Freedom Tour, Saturday, May 11th, Grenada National Stadium.
Grenada becomes one of Liat's main shareholders. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, May 7th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Grenada is now one of the 5 main shareholders of regional airline Liat, joining Antigua, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Dominica. Government has contributed $1.3 million to the cash-strapped Antigua-based carrier, which means this country will now have a greater say in the affairs of the airline. That announcement was made by CARICOM Affairs Minister, the Honorable Oliver Joseph, during the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday. He says the decision to support the airline means a gain in revenue and economic development.
Grenada is now the 5th shareholder in the airline. So together with the governments of Barbados, Antigua, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada at that meeting is now accepted as the 5th main shareholder in Liat. What that means? It means that the government, cabinet has taken a decision to continue to support Liat. When we look at the figures from the number of passengers that Liat brings to Grenada, of course, the multiplier effect is great. Liat brings in thousands of visitors to Grenada every year. And therefore, from an economic and social point of view, Grenada had to support Liat.
At a recently concluded shareholders meeting in Antigua, it was suggested that Liat take a business-like approach and restructure to become more efficient and more profitable. A committee has been established to look at the restructuring of the airline, and a report is expected to be submitted to shareholder governments sometime soon. The airline adopted the minimum revenue guarantee framework, which is designed to address revenue shortfall.
The aim of the framework is to address revenue shortfall caused by flights that fail to achieve viable or profitable routes. Grenada pledged to continue supporting Liat, and a number of models have been examined. I said the minimum revenue guarantee is one of them. So it's based on a load factor. So that if a flight from, say, Grenada to Trinidad or Grenada to Barbados is not selling that is showed in terms of their number of seats, what we're saying is that we will contribute to the seats, that's why it's called a load factor, to enable the flight to still operate between Grenada and the destination that is going to.
Minister Joseph says Liat is in a dire financial situation and Grenada's contribution is to ensure that it continues flying.
If you operate in business, you will look at the routes that are unprofitable. Obviously, because if you're losing money, right? If you're losing money, you wouldn't want to continue servicing a route that you're losing money on. So all this will be taken in consideration in the restructuring of Liat. And what the model is looking at, if the government right, I use the example of Liat from Grenada to Trinidad or Grenada to Barbados. So if they're losing money on that route, and the government is prepared to contribute to ensure that they break even, that is an option also that is on the table. So if you want to continue servicing that route, we want Liat to continue servicing, then the government will have to contribute to ensure that Liat break even on the route and not lose money.
Minister for Education, Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, the Honorable Emmeline Pear, has had cordial and productive discussions with the new executive of the Grenada Union of Teachers. At a recent meeting, Minister Pear and members of the GUT executive discussed a number of matters, including outstanding items from the collective bargaining agreement. It was at the GUT's recent annual conference that the Education Minister issued the call for continued dialogue, and the recent meeting presented an opportunity to discuss matters relating to education as well as to congratulate the new executive. Productivity, professionalism, and a code of ethics for teachers were also among the main agenda items at the meeting. Further dialogue on the matters discussed will take place when another meeting is convened in 2 weeks. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The safety on our roads make this a major priority. Health of our people, a crucial necessity. Accidents happen when road users are either irresponsible or inconsiderate in one way or the other. Play your part. Reduce your speed. Be attentive. It is your personal responsibility. Let 2017 be the start of no more road fatality. Be safe, be seen, be smart. So let's wise up as a nation. Get to your destination safe.
Continuing the news, Grenada has been named as one of the 3 CARICOM countries with the highest level of compliance with respect to the implementation of CARICOM decisions. Jamaica and Guyana were the other 2 countries named during a recent meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Development Quartet in Guyana. Grenada's Trade Minister, the Honorable Oliver Joseph, says it demonstrates this government's belief in the process of regional integration.
As you know, the concern of what is called the implementation deficit has been discussed throughout the region, that CARICOM heads may take decisions and member states fail to implement. So it was very refreshing to hear that Grenada is in the top 3 of the member states that implements decision of CARICOM when it is taken. And this is because the government strongly believes in regional integration, because we believe our economic development, investment, and the open market in the Caribbean can assist us to grow and develop and provides opportunity for our small and medium enterprise to grow and share in this Caribbean community market.
Minister Joseph says the country's rate is measured based on the work it has done through legal instruments and otherwise.
Visa for Haitian nationals. The CARICOM heads of government at their last meeting said that visa requirement should be removed for Haitian nationals. You will recall Barbados was the first country to announce that they remove visa restriction for Haitian. So when you're reporting at the meeting, they will ask each member state, what have you done? And if they come with over 5 or 3, so they know the amount that has complied with the decision of heads. That's how they measure it. Each member state must report on what they have done, whether it's through legal instrument or administratively, to give effect to the decisions of heads. And that's how Grenada, Jamaica, and Guyana are ranked in the top 3.
Promo Caribbean Promo Grenada has pledged to make a significant contribution to the Grand Bacolet Juvenile Rehabilitation Center of an application that will allow for iOS and Android devices. The cost to develop the application for the center will be in the tune of $25,000. Simon Green is one of the local representatives for Promo Caribbean Promo Grenada, which was one of the sponsors of the just concluded NYPD humanitarian tour to Grenada. The announcement came during the group's visit to the facility.
We're going to be sponsoring a website and an app, right, developed, with our techs to ensure we can support the educational goals of the center, which can also be used as a platform for raising funds and support and really networking. We're also going to put a challenge out to everyone that's here to perhaps adopt or mentor an individual in this facility here and build a relationship through just emails and letters and what have you, and whatever guidance that they can provide as they move through these phases, because I know I'm seeing success in front of me and you want to be a part of this. So again, it's a pleasure for us to make that donation and that link between the center and our network.
A discussion will be held between the Promo Caribbean team and the management of the center regarding development of the application. Promo Caribbean and Promo Grenada began with the idea of bringing the Caribbean community together at home and abroad by creating a platform to expose a diverse and rich Caribbean region. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearls Strip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearls Strip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event. We are just days away from concert royalty.
Driver! Don't stop at all.
As the Long Walk to Freedom Tour touches down in Grenada.
Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money and thing.
The anticipation is building for the return of a living icon, Buju Banton.
Me waiting or drive a fast car, but me not gonna let you.
Backed by his Shiloh Band.
Test we know, you don't feel no one like how we rock the test we know, you don't feel no leaky like how.
Also featuring reggae sensation Ghost with his band. And Sister Joyce from the UK. Your local stars gracing the stage on that night. Laura Lisa, Samantha Cole, Kevon Niles, aka Double Standard, and Kalia Benjamin with an accompanied appearance by Tevin Phillip, aka Triple. Get your tickets now from all advertised outlets. Sunshine Promotions in association with Digicel present A Night of Love, Long Walk to Freedom Tour, Saturday, May 11th, Grenada National Stadium.
Government pension. What are the facts? Are all public workers entitled to pension? Are public workers owed gratuity? Here are the facts. Fact 1. The Pension Disqualification Act of 1983 was validated on April 21, 1985 by the democratically elected government, led by former Prime Minister Herbert A. Blaise. This means that public workers employed after February 22nd, 1985 are not legally entitled to a pension from the government of Grenada. Fact 2. The judgment in the Hermelin Armstrong case does not create legal precedents for the reinstatement of pension to public workers employed after February 22, 1985. The judgment created a legal precedent only for those workers who joined the public service in a pensionable post between April 4, 1983 and February 22, 1985. There were 56 such workers. The government restored pension to those 56 workers in 2018 at a cost of $7.7 million. Fact 3. All officers employed in a pensionable post who joined the service after February 22, 1985 are not legally entitled to a pension from government. They are only entitled to a pension from NIS once they meet the necessary requirements as per the NIS Act. Fact 4. The Cabinet's decision in 2016 to reform pension is rooted in moral and social justice principles, and it is not a legal obligation. Therefore, any agreement on pension is a win for public workers. Fact 5. The MOU signed between government, the unions, and staff associations in February and March 2018 stated that the pension regime which will be implemented must be affordable and sustainable. Fact 6. The proposed pension regime for public workers employed between February 22, 1985 and December 31, 2018, as stated in the MOU, is a non-contributory pension plan. Therefore, no deductions will be taken from workers' salaries to finance their pension from government. Pensioners also benefit from any future negotiated salary increases. Fact 7. It was agreed by all parties that a worker's annual pension would be a minimum of 70% of their final salary to be paid jointly by the NIS and the government of Grenada. Fact 8. Government is not obligated to offer an advanced pension payment, commonly called a gratuity. Government has proposed to make an advanced pension payment of 2% of full pension, an amount it can practically and reasonably afford given its current and projected revenue stream. It should be noted that an advanced pension payment is a non-interest-bearing loan that the government grants to the pensioner, which must then be repaid in equal monthly installments in the form of a reduced monthly pension over 12 and a half years. Fact 9. Under the proposed 2% advanced pension payment or gratuity, retirees will be entitled to a higher monthly pension than if a larger advanced payment was given. Fact 10. If the government accommodates any higher rate of gratuity, the implications would be severe for the country, as this will translate to higher taxes such as VAT, income tax and property tax, higher import duties, the possibility that hundreds of millions of dollars in grants would be lost, lower expenditure in critical areas such as healthcare, agriculture, roadworks and youth development, retrenchment of workers. These are the facts. Government is committed to an amicable resolution to the pension matter for the good of all Grenadians.
It is said that education is the key to success. The Grenada Development Bank believes this to be the truth, hence the reason we have made it our prerogative to ensure that your key is in safe hands with us. Here is how you can unlock your success with an education loan from the GDB. We offer you 3 loan options. We've got our regular student loan, our work-study student loan, and our special student loan. Our regular student loan is for persons who wish to pursue full-time tertiary level education. If you are a permanent employee who wish to study while continuing your employment, then our work-study loan is for you. Our special student loan is in collaboration with the government of Grenada, geared towards vulnerable persons who would like to pursue higher level education. Remember, you must have proof of admission from a recognized institution here at home or abroad. All our loans are 100% financing with interest rates as low as 5%. Get your funding from GDB today for your tertiary level education, your technical training or vocational training, even professional development, with up to 12 years to repay. Your future success is today. Grab it now.
We are just days away from concert royalty.
Driver, don't stop at all.
As the Long Walk to Freedom Tour touches down in Grenada.
Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money and thing.
The anticipation is building for the return of a living icon, Buju Banton.
Over the minute of me waiting, I drive a fast car, but me not gonna let you.
Backed by his Shiloh Band.
Can't learn, test we know. You don't feel no one like how we rock up, test we know. You don't feel no we go.
Also featuring reggae sensation Ghost with his band. And Sister Joyce from the UK. Your local stars gracing the stage on that night. Laura Lisa, Samantha Cole, Kevon Niles, aka Double Standard, and Kalia Benjamin with an accompanied appearance by Tevin Phillip, aka Triple. Get your tickets now from all advertised outlets. Sunshine Promotions in association with Digicel present A Night of Love. Long Walk to Freedom Tour. Saturday, May 11th. Grenada National Stadium.
On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearls Strip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearls Strip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event. Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
conference at the farm of Mr. Leroy Peters. He's another of the farmers that is part of the program, the initiative.
And good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Yes, it is Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
Yes, indeed. So you've just had the national report there. Lots of wonderful information. Also, you've heard from the National Water and Sewerage Authority, and you've heard from the Grenada Solid Waste Management. Yeah. So you got a lot of information there in that.
Start off with some valuable information. That's important.
Yeah.
Yes. Good morning, Grenada. It's another beautiful, sunshiny day.
Yeah, man. Hey, and what's coming up, man? We have the Police Food Fest that's taking place
on Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah.
So Police Food Fest is taking place on Friday. So those of you that can make it up to Camp Raymond.
Yeah. Or Paul's Strip.
Camp Raymond is named after who? Raymond Matthew Beast?
No, the former commissioner. Former Commissioner Raymond.
So it's not Beast.
Cosmos Raymond. No, not Beast.
Cosmos Raymond, not Raymond Matthews.
No, not Raymond Matthews.
I just want to make sure, Raymond is a
Cosmos,
Raymond.
Raymond is a Raymond.
Okay.
But he's just back in the front.
Okay. Oh, that was the one with the incident on the fort many years ago. All right, yeah.
Yeah. Himself and the U.S. attaché and
all kind of things. But that's a kind of...
Yeah, that was and the Vincentian superintendent.
Yeah. Folks, as usual, it is Hard Talk. We expect to have a visitor in, and we will have one of our beloved ministers on the line with us this morning. So quite a lot of information for you today. Yeah. Just a programming note, tomorrow we'll be having Parliament. I'm not too sure how long it will run, though. It starts at 9. More than likely, we will have our Hard Talk as normal. I do not think it will be an extended, a long sitting like 3-4 hours going there. 1 hour, 2 hours at the tops. So we will be having, God's willing, our Hard Talk program tomorrow. All right? Nice. We're just letting you all know. So in case you tune in tomorrow and you hear Parliament, so you hear Senator the Honorable Chester Humphrey saying, let's have the first reading and so on. All right. Nice. Yeah. So you understand? Nice. Just letting you all know. The Doc Challenge Trophy continues, man. The finals of the Doc Challenge Trophy is taking place, I believe, next week, Saturday. So we'll give more information on that. Yeah, we have the Mother's Day show coming up, Devon.
Sunday.
Give the info.
Mother's Day upper level promotion present. Oh, beautiful Queens in concert. Yeah, the mothers are out there this Sunday at Victoria Park from 5 p.m. And so it's a regular Mother's Day show put on by Peter Bain and Upper Level. And so it starts at 5. And so the tickets is 25 in advance and 30 at the door. And so you have 7 beautiful mothers vying for the competition.
And then before you go to that, on a Saturday night, just in case you want to say, I had a close one yesterday. Put an angel over me, be strong. For meditation, one day things must get better. Yeah, you want to go? Saturday night.
Yes, Sunshine Promotion presents
The Long Walk to Freedom.
Long Walk to Freedom.
Yeah, just in case you are looking for something to do on the weekend.
Yeah.
You all can head on to the Long Walk to Freedom and Zone.
And not just that, you're not just going to see Boujou, but you're going to support the cast, the entire cast of local artists that'll be there. You know, number of them, including Triple. Yeah.
Out of nothing at all. Out of nothing at all. Out of nothing at all.
The Ghost Man.
Ask me to hit them other notes and nothing now.
But that man does go some pitch day like. But yeah, it's a show that you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
Right? You could afford it.
And you
get out there.
You only had to worry, yeah? Buju safe.
Yeah, Buju safe.
Buju
definitely.
Safe. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. Judah is talking about it. As well, you.
Rastaman, good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, man. All safe. When Buju coming today? Buju coming in today? Friday? Yeah. Friday Buju will be in? Nice, all right. So yeah, so the artists will be in.
Yeah.
The main thing is artists or not, the Mother's Day show is always a well looked to event here in Grenada. And you may say, well, how come they're talking about that on Hard Talk? Because it's a show that a lot of people look forward to.
Yeah.
It's always a wonderful activity to take the mothers out to.
It's a calendar show.
Calendar, yeah. And you can always be assured. In fact, if they used to have tickets on sale the year before, you could buy your tickets for next year and book your bottom dollar that you would have an artist there that is of a very high standard that could deliver a very comprehensive body of music. Ain't no one hit wonder. No guy come and sing one song and all kind of thing.
No 5
when
minutes
they're coming
and 10
in,
minutes.
you understand? But even better than that is that while they may have one or two of the foreign artists, quote unquote foreign, because basically when you check, it's just one slave ship that pass and a drop us different location. They're foreign. They are brothers and sisters. Yeah. So even though you may have one or two people coming in, the local acts that are going to be participating, the young guy Triple.
All right, you have
the two people from the competition there again.
That will come in competition.
Yeah.
I think it's about 4 or 5 local, young artists. You don't want to miss them, right? Yeah. And then you have Judah Band.
You know, back in the days, people going a show. You used to go a show late. You know, we used to go show 2 and 3 in the morning.
You can't afford to go in that.
We used to say we go in that time because we only go in for the main act. These days, if you do that, you're wasting money because
the main act is from the beginning to the end.
Start to end.
Yeah. You see, and
what very talented people here.
Oh yeah.
Like I always mention this young lady, Valine Ned.
Yes, she always on the top of it. Yes.
You have Laura Lisa and you have this young chap again, Jefferson Ramirez. You have some very, very, very talented young and even not so young artists here. Yeah. I mean, when you listen to Randy Isaac and you hear a voice like that, you know that's world class.
Yeah.
We have even Uncle Specky. You may not like his voice, you may not always like his song, but the man is a performer.
Specky could wake up. He could wake up more than the dead.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. The dead is nothing for Specky to wake up.
Yeah, Blackwater's talk to him every time he's going to perform because the cemetery right over there.
Right there, so take it easy. Next thing you see people walking across and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we say a special good morning to all those who are on the live this morning. Yeah, I'm looking to see you on the live because I ain't going on the live yet. So yeah, saying live and I ain't going on the live yet now. I'm going on the live now to see who is on the live this morning. And folks, remember to like and share the live. Like and share the live. You're going to realize that we have some changes to the formatting of the program. So you're going to be seeing things change slightly. In fact, right now, we're opening the phone lines. And we're going to open the phone lines for the next 15 minutes or so. If you have an issue you want to call in relation to, you can call in and raise that issue right now. All right? So if you want to call in and there's a particular issue that you want to mention, a particular issue, you see a hole in the road somewhere, or you see a busted main somewhere, or you see a street light giving trouble in a location, and you want to let us know, call in and tell us right now. Matthew, good morning. Matthew say you having problem with this.
No. You okay now?
Yeah, okay, a back and a hearing. All right, nice. Some people are having problems with the sound.
Yeah,
I don't know. That probably didn't come from us.
Carol, good morning to you. And good morning to all the workers at Paddy's Enterprise in Carriacou.
I had to put my list in front of me. I had to go and dig for that
Hey,
list every time.
That Carol, the Koto, works at Paddy's. And for those of you in Carriacou who don't know, she's a gem when it comes to singing, eh? She has a golden voice, right? She just, is hiding, but trust me, if you hear Carol Koto sings, oh boy.
Hey, Cousin Christine. Good morning to you, Cousin Christine. Cousin Christine, you're still at a carry me to a certain place in Carriacou when I come. Me and you always planning, and we could never reach. And she had a carry to show me my grandfather.
The grandfather.
Yeah. I find my grandmother own now. So I find the she know, Christine know where it is. She send picture it for me, so I know Washington Berry. I just have to go and find it.
That's good.
But it's one of them graveyard that, you have graveyards that kind of far off that people used to use long ago because
and they don't use no more.
Right, and that much people not even living in that area, but you remember and you go and check. I think that's why Carriacou people so blessed, because they always remember their ancestors.
Yeah, and they spread them around too. So you have and not just one local cemetery, but you have a number of them, even from way to the 40s and 50s, come up in different areas. And Carriacou people, they basically is family oriented. Yeah, they stick to their family.
Okay, and just getting a message from one of my guests that they cannot make it in. I'll see if I can get them to call in.
Yes,
yeah, I'll
see
if I could get them to call. Let me just send a message. Yeah, let me just put up a little music and check.
I woke up in a special way this morning. I don't know why I feel this way.
This morning.
Yeah, you see, we catch him singing. Yes, I'm hoping that we can get a call in from the guest who was supposed to come. And we know how things work out. Sometimes you can't make it. Sometimes you plan everything that you're going to make it and you can't make it.
Duty call.
Yeah, so we're hoping that we can get our guests to call in just to give us a little bit of information about a particular issue. But as we said, the phone lines are open, 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
Yeah, so you can call in now. If you would like to call in, you can call in now if there's an issue that you want to raise in your area. Or if you want to tell me everything good. One issue I would like to raise though, Devon, the issue just parking anyway.
Yeah, that continues to be a concern, not just for citizens, but for the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Yeah.
You know. And,
although I nearly get a ticket for it Saturday.
The most ticket they can give me for jaywalking.
I just say straight as it is. I nearly get a ticket. I was actually trying to pick up someone, and where I stopped.
Yeah, it was not appropriate.
Yeah, you understand? So I guilty too. So I'm trying to make it look like, oh, Sheldon is the paragon of virtue. No. I'm not trying to make it look like I'm the paragon of virtue. Yeah. But sometimes we have to admit our faults.
Of course.
And just let people know, we have to do better than that.
Yo, I'm sorry. You move on.
And officer, thanks. Because I could have gated.
You understand? And as you're talking on that, the wardens out there, they are doing exceptional job when it comes to controlling and directing traffic, both in Grenville, that I've seen, and in St. George's. I mean,
Devon, when it comes to the wardens, one suggestion I think I want to make, not to the general public, but I think I want to make that to the powers that be. Change the uniform.
Yes,
on a psychological level. Let me explain something on a psychological level. Seeing a person in a certain type of uniform elicits a certain response from individuals.
Yeah, level of respect and so that you show
if the uniform is closer to something like what the RGPF is using, than the blazer, you must be able to immediately identify them. First of all, you should be able to identify them immediately as traffic wardens. You should. But I think that it may be necessary to change the uniform.
Yeah, you can draw them a little closer to the law enforcement style uniform.
Yeah.
And so to, you know.
Because even a security officer, you're entering a building and you see a security officer,
stands
because
out.
they're uniformed psychologically,
stands out, yeah.
you know that you have to ask that person a question, or you stop, or you at least acknowledge that person when you're entering or you're exiting a building or so on. And I don't think that the present uniform fully gives that.
No, you don't bring out the real thing in them. Yeah, you may have, that's a very
on
good
a
point.
psychological level. On a psychological level, look at the uniform.
Yeah, and then by bringing them closer in line with the police uniform, and so you give them that sense of that urgency or that respect. People show them that respect more, and so and make them feel that, look, I'm in something that I have authority to do certain things.
You'll be
with
very
responsibility.
surprised, that as soon as you change their uniform, people's perception of them change, and people way that they interact with them is like, okay, officer.
Yeah, no,
right time to see them,
serious,
because sometimes you even see a security officer and people just say, okay, officer.
You give them that respect.
Because at the time I was a security officer myself, and the uniform that we wore was not the same as the Royal Grenada Police Force. That's contact services. So you had on a blue shirt and you had on the dark blue pants.
Okay.
With a thin blue stripe down the side. That was contact security services. I don't think they exist again, but years ago.
You are a constable, man.
But surprising, no, and you had on the hard shoes and so, and surprising when you go certain places, the kind of respect that you've got. You understand? Even I worked with CTEC security as a security officer for a while too. And, you know, the first time I tried on the uniform, I always remember the manager. I was the first person to put on one of the uniforms that they had at that time. That was all blue. He says, so you look like a Brooklyn Babylon.
I looked at the word in the Babylon.
No, that used to tell me, he says, so you look like a Brooklyn Babylon. Because the first person to try on the uniform when he got the uniforms there was dark blue pants, dark blue shirt, and the patch and these different things. And you look nearly exact as a New York police officer. He said, so you look like a Brooklyn Babylon. So, so like people don't have issues, but one I have is the parking.
Yeah, it's
one of the areas that you have the most problem, Devon, maybe as you're not driving around, you're not going through this one, but it's one I go through on a weekly basis, a number of times a week, in the town of Guave on the lands.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in the town of Guave generally.
Yeah, from top to bottom.
Especially on the lands.
Up and lower up in the street.
No, the thing is, is no way you as an individual could be upset with someone for having to park there. No way. This is where people live. This is where people have their business. This is where somebody has to transact business. So even if it's not a business owner, somebody have to go in to a shop, they have to go into a store or something. So they must park. So we can't vex. Note what I'm saying, we cannot vex. But some alternative needs to come up, because what it causes is that you always have a situation where the lands is one-way traffic.
Yeah. And if one thing and one place that needs a car park, it's St. John's. Go out.
Well, listening to our good friend Andre Donald the other day, I did hear Andre mentioning that there are plans on the books for the expansion of the town of Guave. And if those plans, and I really want to get to the MP, we have him scheduled. We do have him scheduled to be in studio with us, and we're going to ask him some more questions about that. So we wouldn't go too deep into it right now, but it's important that we get the MP in, because that would be a wonderful idea. If you can expand the town of Guave, and I could see it happening, I could see it happening from anywhere down by, even from down by the park.
Yeah, right down by the park.
Come
right up to the top.
Yeah, you don't want to get rid of the beach on the lands area there.
No, you don't.
So you come up to just before there. And you leave the lands beach, so people have the beach and that kind of thing. It may have to involve moving, it could or could not, because there's a junction there, you may have to move a building or two. Because if you want to run a secondary road in that area now, so that vehicles passing where the sea is right now and come wrong, it could ease the traffic in Guave.
Yeah,
the problem again is going to be when you come back to the lands. But if you have now an area where people can park, then you shouldn't have too much of a problem with parking on the lands. if you have created an area where people can park. Yeah, because when people like Troy have to park his truck there, yeah, killer might park his vehicle out there, he might park on the back street and so, and other people have to park there. That's where they have to park. Yeah, that's why they have not made there no parking area. But it's difficult sometimes, especially on like a Friday night or so when there's an activity.
Yeah, Fish Friday.
When you're going there. Sometimes you find yourself in traffic there for close to 10 minutes trying to get down or up.
And
So
especially right in front of Carriacou, that cross right there.
Mhm.
And so you tend, because one road leads to Florida and back to Grenville, there, you know, and so on. You find that T.
So from
right
what I picked up, there seems to be a plan to I would love to see that.
Oh, I would love to.
But not only there, St. Mark too.
Yeah, a ring road. Although St. Mark is a bit, I mean,
it's not as problematic.
Yes,
but still, to protect the buildings that presently exist and to create the possibility for more space for more buildings and that kind of thing, I'd like to see an expansion take place in St. Mark as well.
And if you ask me, the expansion of St. Mark's might be a bit much easier, let's say like on the outer, towards the
And
Sedan.
there was some work at the church, behind the church there.
A
couple months ago, sometime last year, there was some work there.
Definitely.
So probably to reclaim some more. So you create parking.
Exactly.
You create an additional area for alternative area
routes,
for vehicles to pass and that sort of thing.
Although in my
and
view,
possibly for more buildings to go up, just like how you had town of St. George and you expand, so now you have the area where NIS is and loads of employment created there because you created this area. So you create a West Coast business center in the St. Mark area, in the St. John area.
And it's a unique, St. Mark's is unique when it comes to small roads and so. I think St. Mark's, as the smallest parish, has, I believe, the most, how should I explain that? Streets in Victoria.
Mm-hmm. But you realize St. Mark's is well planned. I ever saw St.
Well planned.
It's a well planned.
Another thing again, you talk about the streets, shops. Growing up, right, living in Victoria, the most shops I know of any place in one area is right there in Victoria. Mm-hmm. Every other house was a shop, or every street you find 2 shops. Mm-hmm. There, the building is still there, but the shops are not, operational and so. So it's a unique, small but unique parish.
Let's go to the phone line.
Good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, my friend.
How everything, man?
Hey, quite fine, man.
And how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, you're going good, man. Going good.
That's good. God is good.
Yeah, you're going good, man. Yes. I got a great time to make it. Yeah. Brother Sheldon, I want to speak on something this morning concerning to do with Mother's Day. Alright? I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers through the trial of the Carriacou and Peter Martin, and all mothers through the world. I want to advise children that mothers are special, and they should treat the mother with love and respect right through the year. You know, sometimes in life, like our husband in home, the mom die, but they have children with this lady, and this lady bring for children, and they become the mothers of the children. So the M2 met me walking, but I want to applaud, encourage the fathers to reach out to the children, give the children something that they could purchase for the mom. There are many times that fathers, men say the mom died, say they don't have to buy no gift again. But remember, you have a wife, you have a girlfriend, and they bring food children for you and became your children mother. So then you should reach out and help encourage the children to get a gift for them for Mother's Day. And not only Mother's Day should receive a gift, but they should receive a gift all through the year, because they're special all through the year. So I want to say Happy Mother's Day, and may all mothers have an enjoyable Mother's Day. God bless you all.
All right, my friend.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah, 4407377
and 347-329-3101.
All right. Wonderful. I wonder who peeping me there. Push the door, let me see. Can't see you peeping me there. Push the door, let me see.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want me to put on some music? Gonna tell me something? All right, let me put on some music. Tell me something. Nice. Hold on, Hold on. Nice.
I woke up in a special way this morning.
Yeah, so that's one of the issues we want to raise there. The issues of parking.
Parking
is an important one. And Mother's Day is on Sunday, as the caller just said. I want no fathers saying, well, happy Mother's Day to me. The same way I find it's absolutely dotish when you see some women go on Father's Day saying happy Father's Day to me. Fathers shouldn't do it when it's Mother's Day, and mothers shouldn't do it when it's Father's Day. Mother's Day is for mothers, Father's Day is for fathers.
I don't understand.
Yeah, let me just lead the things on now.
And some of you, I mean, it sounds so simple, and so, but you make remarks on this thing, but you know what you're basically doing? You're basically equating yourself as someone who's on both sides, Sorry to say that.
Anyway, morning, Bala. Hope that you're having a wonderful morning this morning, Bala, and everything is going your way.
Morning to all the busmen, drivers, and conductors of our nation, wherever you are.
So
good morning.
One of the issues, as I said, we want to raise is the issue of parking. And it's happening throughout the country. Throughout the country. Now, there are instances that, in my humble opinion, there is not much that can be done about it as is. And the reason I say that is that in those areas, how those areas are structured, it's difficult for people to find an area to park. So you have to park in front of your house. We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Excellent, Sheldon. Thanks for taking my call.
So,
I must apologize for not being there in person, but the week and the Police Week celebration 2019 has had me very busy. So,
Lord, yeah. So Friday, food again.
Well, let me tell you, Sheldon. I mean, you can't afford to miss Food Fest 2019 at Falls.
So we barely hearing you. I don't know if you're using a Bluetooth or speakerphone, but we're barely hearing you.
Your communication is very low as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's if you're using the phone directly.
Yes, so you're sounding much better now. I hope you hear me clearer.
Yeah, we're hearing you clearer.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But no, you're gone again. You're gone again. I don't know if it's the area you are and the signal you have.
Okay, so I'll try to speak a little bit louder. I started by saying that I'm very pleased that you allowed me to call in because I was supposed to come in person, but you know.
Oh boy, we barely. Sir, we barely hearing you. I think maybe you had to hang up and call back. The connection itself might be bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if we barely hearing you in studio, the listeners out there will not be able to hear you at all. So that's why it might be best to start over. Yeah.
Chris, I hope, I don't want nobody promising nothing and don't fulfill it, Friday coming, you're singing for the mothers. Okay.
No, I think it's the connection. I think because that particular, one of the carriers given some problem these last few days. Every time I call somebody, just call, just drop in.
Yep. Or you just cut.
Yeah.
And so.
Just halfway, anything to call, just drop in.
Talking about the traffic and so, one of the things too is the amount of derelict vehicles that we continue to see parking on the side of the roads.
But the pass and start to put notice on some of them.
Yes, and that is good, right? And especially within the villages where you have the narrow roads, the concrete roads, and so, right? And it's still two-way traffic, right? We have to pay attention to these things. You have to consider the emergency vehicles, the fire tenders, the ambulances, the police, and so free access to move. So we must be mindful of the way in which we park or what the derelict vehicles that we leave on the side of the road unattended. We have to do better than that.
Mm-hmm. And then I know the ministry held meeting with some of the roadside garages.
Yes,
and so.
Yes. And they're starting to do better,
Yeah,
They've
some of the guys
signs.
actually trying to help the situation. Because you had some guys, basically, you had to fix a vehicle. You had a vehicle park up at the side of the road, making that road one way.
One way, yep.
What it does, in some instances, it damages the road.
It does.
Because of how the vehicles have to keep going to the edge,
On
the
one
edge, the
side.
edge. It's at eat away the
Yeah.
edge in some areas, so you have to be so careful.
Especially
with that.
heavy vehicles.
Let's
Good
try
morning
again.
and welcome.
Hello? Hello?
Hey, Sheldon, how are you doing? I hope you hear me much better now.
It's still kind of coming and going, but let me try it.
Yeah, let's go with
Let's
that.
go with it.
All right, excellent. So, thank you for having me. The police is always appreciative that HARDTALK will take some time out of their time to give us some service, some pro bono service. Let me just say that we will never really paid for this sort of first-class advertisement, but we're extremely grateful that HARDTALK continues to support the police. Understanding, of course, that we're not able to do it by ourselves. This year, incidentally, the theme for Politics 2019 is United We Stand to fight against sexual abuse and violent crimes while promoting road safety and a healthier lifestyle.
I was going and write that one down, but you had to text that one.
Yeah.
That's long.
Yeah, I would text it. It's pretty long, but it was created to cover as many of the politic pillars or the substantial areas that we really want to focus on for politics this year. Remember, politics is not just all fun. There is a strategic intention to embrace the public further and to use the unorthodox events to capture additional collaboration, to build confidence and so on. United, you might ask why we're talking about unity with the public and also unity with the other agencies as customs, Her Majesty's prison, the prison officers, and also airport security airport authorities on board with us. So we have 3 additional agencies coming on board to celebrate Police Week with us. So that unity is extremely important for the success of Police Week. We want the public to see the law enforcement agencies as one united front in an effort so that they embrace us better, seeing that we have one goal and one strategic intention.
Wonderful. So wonderful. So this weekend, this Friday, what can folks expect up at Camp Raymond?
Right. So up at Paul's, close to Camp Raymond, this Friday from midday, lunch as much food as you can possibly eat. You have oil dung, tanya log. You have tanya log, you have oil dung, you have rice and peas, you have waters. So we up the game a bit, right? Not just oil dung and tanya log this year, but you come in midday, you can come 12 sharp, and you would get as much food as you possibly can eat. Now, if you come at 12 o'clock and you have no food to eat, you stay a little while and I will buy food for you.
You're doing that because you know we finish in 12 and we can't leave 12. That's why you're doing that, you know. You know me and Devon finish 12. Me, Devon and Nazim would come, but you know 12 we finish.
Nah, but this challenge is for any member of the public here. My voice, if you come lunch 12 o'clock and you get no cooked food to eat, then you stay at 5 minutes more and we will purchase food for you. We want to stay true to what we are intending to do, is to provide an opportunity, a fun-filled environment, a clean environment where you can come and eat and mingle. All right, so from midday you can do that. So you can, for lunch, you can come up on Paul's Airport and have your lunch. And if you want to go back to work, if you have that doctor requisite permission to take a half day, which I don't, you can now come back after 4 and stay until midnight on the ground. So we have some good solid culture. Some of the popular artists will be there. We don't want to let the cat out of the bag now, so you must come to embrace the best of Grenada in terms of artists and singing and so on. And also at 4 p.m. you'll have the judging of the dishes. So the 7 agencies, the 7 clubs that fall within the police force, airport authority, customs and prisons will be displaying their dish, which will be judged by some professional adjudicators, and of course bragging rights and a massive trophy at the end for the winning club.
Nice, beautiful.
Okay.
Now, for folks who may be in St. George and they find every year police having this in Camp Raymond and they can't get up there, but they want the support, how can they support? You all delivering?
Yeah, delivery.
All right, well,
Police
but
can't
not
tell
to
us.
say that, no, I just got a brilliant idea. So they can call my number 405-405-3105. by the evening of Thursday or early Friday morning and order the food and you'll get to you.
Right, wonderful. Because you know police can't say, oh, they don't have vehicle, no?
Nah, the days of no vehicle is over.
That's over.
Can't say that.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say, Sheldon, that I really want to recognize Carriacou for supporting this event. And also Guardian Group Insurance, they're always on board. Flo is on board with us as well. The Hideaway Apartment is also on board. And Huggins, as usual, is on board solidly with Police Week 2019. So I just want to extend a special commendation to the corporate citizen who undoubtedly understand the value of teaming up with the police and continue every year to support what we're trying to do.
Wonderful, wonderful. So again, for those who want to order, so those of you listening in the office now, 2 or 3 of you may want to order your rice and peas or your oil dong
or your Tanya log.
Yes, you might want to order some of everything. You want to taste it. You want to taste the spice. So 405-3105. That's the number for them to call.
So
exactly.
So super. I'm placing my order for lunch, but in the evening I'll be there. But lunch, I'm placing my order now.
No, don't worry, man. Just call me, man.
All right, good.
I had some time, like about 3 years now. It's still on the fridge. And you forget all this.
I have a leaky pipe home. I think I could get some of that to fix it right now and fix it.
I turned silicone already.
No, Tyler can spoil, but it's always good.
But so we've heard now of this activity coming up, and usually by the time we hear Police Food Fest, we know that means that Police Week is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, Police Week is the start of my carnival, because I hear a lot of these songs coming out, and so for Police Week is the start of carnival for me. So tell us, when is the King and Queen show? You have that information in front of you now. The King and Queen show, we know those things are coming up. I think it's in June, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, yes, so the not King and Queen show, Sheldon, is a static Friday.
Yes,
sorry, sir.
Static Friday.
Yeah, it's much bigger than King and Queen show because you
Yeah.
have King, Queen, and you have Calypsonian. So let me just give you a snippet. You have 7 queens, 7 kings, and 8 Calypsonians.
Wow.
I mean, there's no way in the world you get a show as big and as compact as this. It's supported and backed by the police band. It's a high-quality event at the Trade Center. It has been growing over the years. I mean, last year we had more than 1,000 people on the ground.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine what it would be like this year. But it's a massive show, and let me just say it's a clean show. It's one of the cultural shows you can come to, and you can bring your entire family.
Yes.
You have no worry in terms of whether it would be in any way where you be disrespectful. You can come and have good, clean fun where you can sit in the comfort of air condition and you can enjoy a wholesome show. So we begin at 7 in the evening, and you come for the long haul. It's a nice environment. You can go outside by the gazebo and have a drink and have something to eat, and you can spend the entire time with us. We want to do it really good. We want to have a nice, compact, and well-produced show because it's quite a few acts. So you must come on time and really enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I was there last year, and I must say,
it was.
I was there last year. It was a wonderful show.
It was a class.
Yeah, I was feeling a bit under the weather, so I didn't stay for the Calypso component.
Right.
But I got the King and Queen show, and the performances, man, wow. Yeah.
Actually, for $40, I mean that's almost a crime to have a show as big as this and charge $40. So it's basically a contribution. The police are coming to give back, but while giving back, producing a high quality show. So it will be the 7th, Friday the 7th of June from 7 p.m. at the Trade Center. A static Friday.
Yes, indeed.
Look out for the prison officers again.
And then we know the sports and so on are coming up. So we know you're going to come by us and tell us about those things soon.
Yes, certainly. Sure, that is just the start now. Using that to beg on time for more time. That's just a precursor.
Definitely, sir. We will ensure, the doors of Hard Talk are always open to the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Yeah.
You know that for sure.
And you have the Food Fest ads, so I suspect you run it until Friday morning all day for me.
Yeah, we're running that. Hey, Killer say run with it, so that's what we're doing. And with Clark Scott as a sponsor, we must run with it.
Yes, but you're running responsible.
Yes, very responsible.
If we said run, we never said drive.
Right.
All right, sir. We'd like to thank you so very much. We know it's a busy morning for you, and as usual, we don't want to take too much time out of your time.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Sheldon. Thanks a lot.
Yes, indeed. So, tomorrow we're going to try to talk about it a bit more according to how the program flows. As we said, we got Parliament in the morning, and then on Friday. All right.
Excellent.
So, thank you so very much, sir.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, HARDTALK.
Take care. One love.
So, as usual, we've been speaking there to our good friend.
Superintendent.
Yeah, to Fawa Pair. Yeah, man. Good partner. I wonder, let me try and see if I could find somebody else. Mama Can people. Yeah, Mama Can people say they like that song.
Come on, Sava Mama Can. Land of roots and culture. Oh, Mama Can, I'm a cutter.
You know, sometimes you speak to one half, you have to speak to the other half.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find the other half.
The other half in this part.
We want to make sure that everything is holistic. We want to make sure that we make an entire whole. So we have to speak to the other half. Because, I mean, if you're speaking about St. Andrew's Southeast, brother. Mama, can I yell it? What? Let me leave a jamu like sing his song. I'm trying to help as much as I'm trying to help enough rain falling when I sing. Because if you look at St. Andrew's Southeast and you realize that now they have 2 community centers.
Yeah.
So
and more to come.
And more to come.
Yeah.
A constituency that never had
community centers. Mama Can was the first. Telescope is the second. And not just a community center, but also the resource center where you have persons can go, right, and learn a skill, computer wise. I mean, everything, a bit of everything inside of there. I think is an excellent achievement by the parliamentary representative, Honorable Emily Pierre, right, to ensure, right, that resource and community centers are placed within the community center. Look at where the first 2 are placed strategically, Mama Can, and then further north, Telescope, the biggest polling division.
I know they've done courses at Mama Can. They have some computers
Yes,
there, so they're doing computer
yes.
courses there.
They have drumming classes there.
Drumming
also
classes. That's
culture, with Atiba. Atiba and his crew.
Yeah, Atiba is a guy been involved in
since during the revolution. I sang with Atiba, and then there was a Mama Can.
Atiba ain't no joker, Atiba is
serious
a culture man.
Culture man from ever since.
And folks, the name we calling the Atiba nothing to do with no politics.
No.
Atiba is about development, spiritual and personal and cultural development of individuals.
Holistic development. That's the kind of
if you're going Mama Can ask for Atiba.
Yeah.
Because you have man like Atiba and Moyaki and Ajamo. Not Ajamo. When in Mama Can is not Ajamo, it's Ajamo. Yeah. So when you go up there, you are serious men that involved in culture and so on. Yeah.
And those of you who know
Moyaki need to come back in competition.
Yeah. And those of you who know Kitaka.
Yeah.
That's Atiba's son.
Kitaka Mobutu.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's following in the footsteps of his father. Understand? Cultural, they everything about culture and history, that's Atiba. And I know him from way back in the revolution. And singing and drumming, and so Mama Can group. And so was one of the pillars in drumming and so in Grenada.
I used to do African drums too.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'll tell you the other day, if I play drums again, the skin does tear from my fingers. So no serious, your hands start to welt up if you haven't played for a long time because your hands get softy.
Soft, yeah.
So by the time you go to play and thing, your hands welt up and so. Yeah, but I could play African drums.
Yeah. So St. Andrew's Southeast, it's a constituency that, in my view, over the years has been sort of left behind in St. Andrews. But for the last 10 years or so, you have seen the development, the road network is much better, right? And so lots of other things are taking place within that area there. Community spirit is there.
That road that goes right at the entrance, Mama Can, they're going through to Munich.
To Munich, yeah.
When you drive that road, you realize, because this was a place, the people who live in the area, they could tell you, what they used to go through,
Yep.
It was a dirt track, basically.
A dirt
that
track.
was no serious road. That was a dirt track.
And then when you reach by the river, to cross that bridge was
Headache.
a lot of headache. You know.
But now to see that they've got that road done there, so kudos to the Honorable Emlyn P and the Honorable Yolan Bain Hosford,
Farm
who
Road,
heard the cries of the people in that area to ensure that road was done. Oh, let us meet up some kind of snake in that road and thing.
And you know what is nice about that road, Sheldon? You can take that road, you can go through Munich and end up right down in Pegmota without using the main road.
I've heard individuals say it. I have not tried it. Maybe my vehicle is not a vehicle to try it.
No, you can. Your vehicle can do it. It's good access, good roads.
You're going by steels and by the parts?
But you take your time, bro. But that access, and that road, that was a missing link for the continuation of that road. That from Mamakian to Munich. And so where that is there now, you can just drive through Munich and head right to Pegmota.
Someone told me that a few years ago.
Yeah.
They said that you don't need to pass on the main.
At all.
There's access that you could get to Pegmota and St. David from Munich.
From Munich.
And not pass on the main.
Yeah. I've known this road since I was a soldier. I mean, you know, but the Munich road was there, but it was not developed.
So now it's developed.
It's developed. Ooh. And it's good for the farmers and then for the villagers, and so you find a lot of people investing, building new houses around, and not in the agricultural in the lands and so. But
do you know there are buses that ply that route though, that come up from the Bacalet area and go through up to Munich and so? I think
no, they may not. You see, because between the middle part of that road is basically no
set of houses.
Yeah, the population is non-existent.
The part right after the Bacalet facility.
Yes. Yeah, but
and then you go up and there's basically a lot of bush.
And you have to drive a good 5-10 minutes between Munich and Mamakian before you
drive
can.
At your level.
Yeah. You understand?
5-10
but it's excellent road is good. I mean, those of you who have never tried or passed through that road, you need to.
Yeah. I'll try it.
Yeah.
Not with my vehicle, but I'll try it.
Well, yeah. Your vehicle is a bit low. You may have to go a little bit slow and so. But
we have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you all on the public. Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I heard you all talking about the roads a while ago. I don't know if we're gonna have a delay in the program. Which I was listening on Facebook, but now I got off and I come live on call.
No problem.
I heard you all talking about that road and in Mamakian there. But you know that same road where you using to go Mamakian? And you can end up by the Grand Bacalet home? Yes. I don't know if you all are aware of that road.
Yeah.
Well, the main road.
Yeah, that road there. You know, you can, when you reach by the Grand Bacalet home, you can use that road to come back down to Mahan, I think, somewhere there. Romain, you are aware of that road?
You can use it to come, that's on the top of Mahan, right?
Okay. We're talking about the Mamakian Road, you come up to Grand Bacalet home for young boys, yeah?
Yeah, right.
And then there is two roads connecting from Grand Bacalet. One, I think, coming back down to Mahan business, behind his business there.
I didn't know that.
Yes, there is an exit road around there. I know that road.
But that road is not done, and they should concrete that road.
Well,
there's houses going up there, and the condition to get up there is very difficult with vehicles.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is a by road that has been looked at by the parliamentary rep for a number of years, and very soon something will happen to that road.
Yeah, because I passed there the other day with my vehicle and I had problem going up. I cannot come. One of the road there is two roads. I cannot remember exactly how the roads are, but there's two roads there you can use by the Grand Bacalet home to get down to the main road there in St. Davis. And Kosher, somewhere there. And this road should be done. There's houses, people living up there.
Well, my friend, what I know, I can tell you, the parliamentary representative for that area, is not someone who sits down, right? Once she has the resources, trust me, she will do it, right? Because it's necessary, and so there are lots of persons living within that area, and so and she's on a game. So I think in all fairness, and so we should give her a little time. but it's a concern, right? And we have to get it done.
Yeah, because people live there, and I feel bad for the people who get up there. If someone sick. Another, talking about road, my main concern now is the main road in the south of the island.
The True Blue Road, yes.
We're talking about True Blue, Lansing, Montrouge going down into Fantasia area. That's where tourists come, my friend. That's where tourists spend time. And when you look at the condition of this road, when people like taxi drivers have to get into those areas, tourists sit and talk about these roads. The students in SGU, especially from the roundabout there, going into Montrouge, end of Morris Bishop, going into Montrouge, they talk into True Blue. They talk about these roads.
But you
and
know
what the government are doing, that's the tourist belt.
But you know what? In all fairness, over the last 2 years, right, especially with that True Blue Road heading down to SGU, there has been some work going on there, I think by Nawasa, right? In cutting
I'm glad you mentioned that.
In cutting the road and installing new and bigger pipes and so to both for sewer and for water. So a lot of cutting and so that road is also earmarked, right, for refurbishment because it's a main road, right?
Listen to me, I'm glad you make the point with Nawasa. They dug the road from the roundabout, go straight inside down there, in True Blue,
Mm-hmm.
But I thought after they have done that, finishing the pipe, they would have surfaced the whole entire road, put a nice lane in the middle, but nothing so has been done.
But
they just covered what they have dug up.
But that is not Nawasa's job, to do.
But I'm not saying Nawasa's job. I thought whoever, because it's a collaboration between government and Nawasa, isn't it?
No, what I'll tell you is this, sir. When Nawasa does a project in a particular...
I hear you all a little low.
Yeah, I'll say it after. When you finish, I'll let you finish and then I'll say it on air after. And if there's anything, you can call back.
Go ahead, I'll listen to you.
No. I said you complete and then I'll say it when you've hung up because you might have a problem hearing me. And if it's anything...
I hear you all, but very low from there.
Yeah,
but
so
I
you
think
can call
this
back.
road, these areas are tourist area. That's the tourist belt. And it's not easy to get back and forth to these hotels and guest houses and SU when you have to carry foreigners. And they talk about this. This look bad on our part as Canadians, you know. I mentioned this morning on Shaggy program also about the road, last one. The road from Decal there. When you leave Decal, gas station, going up to Mongay, main road.
Yes, boy. Woo!
They have been patching this road from patching, and this road cannot take no more patch. This road is very rough.
I feel
your suspension in the vehicle. You can feel the vehicle when you get a different ride coming down and going up. Coming down, you feel it more.
I drive that road every day, so I feel I know.
Yeah,
it's rough, and it's different.
It is, and I support you on that. You know,
some Decal gas station, you start right in Agro there, Caribbean Agro, go all the way up. You may not reach right up to Howard, but around where they do the blocks on the corner there, and this road is really, really terrible.
It is. Definitely need a resurfacing.
They should. What I think they should do, resurface that road instead of patching. Just resurface the entire road like how they do other areas in the country. With the asphalt, I started resurfacing roads. So they need to do that there. That's what I want to say.
All right, thank you very much.
my friend. Take care.
Yeah.
And you see, some people think that you can't call Hard Talk and talk about those kind of things, but that's the kind of things we want you to mention as well too, you know.
Information.
Yeah, because nothing the callers say there is out of sync or out of line. It's important for us to speak about when we have these sort of issues. Now, one, the True Blue Road. When Nawasa is doing a project, when Nawasa does a project, in this case, they've done a sewage project. It's a multi-million-dollar project, a sewage project. So they've dug up the road, they've laid the pipes and so in. They are now in the process of connecting the businesses and residential homes, etc., and facilities in that area to the new sewage system. Now, they cannot yet pave the road. They usually subcontract that to another company to come in and pave.
Yeah.
They will not dig up a road and don't pave it back. Nawasa never done that. They never dig up a road and don't come back and pave it. Yeah? They always pave. Now, people from the time they see the last pipe going, they believe NOASA is supposed to come back and pave the entire thing one time. But from an engineering standpoint, they cannot do that. Especially now that one, what NOASA, I think I'll go to start a payment.
Yeah.
One, because you're going to have an interconnectivity taking place. In other words, you might go and pave the whole thing and say you're finished, and then you had to break it again because you had to go and connect some of the guest houses and so that going up, down there. In fact, in the last 5 years, we've seen some very massive structures go up and are going up in that area. Expansion at True Blue Bay. The facilities, as soon as you pass by Bananas and you take a right heading to SGU, that road is becoming littered with some massive structures, some massive buildings that have gone up there, for students and even locals, but mainly for students. You've seen some massive buildings going up there. You've seen places like if you're going down by Garfield's Bar, you have the container park. Garfield, good morning. Cindy, good morning. Garfield's Bar. I know I will get cussed because you go say, you're calling me, but you don't pass in at all. Go Garfield time. So Garfield's Bar, you have Rumors, what used to be Boardroom, Rumors and the Options area there. Right next to there, where the car park used to be for Options, you now have a structure going up there as well. You have a structure right after that went up recently. So the volume of sewage in that area is increasing.
Increased by more than 70-80%.
Right. So NOASA has done that project now to be able to deal with the sewage. So you have to interconnect now from those buildings to the main sewage line that NOASA just put in. It means that they can't go and pave the road now and then have to go and cut the road again to connect to these buildings. So they're giving each of these people a time frame in which to connect. You have to. It's not an optional something. They have to connect to the main sewage line. But they're giving them a period of time in which to do that, right? And work along with them in the interconnectivity between those sewage lines and the main line that NOASA has just put in. Yeah? They're making sure and do that. Let me just see what they are there. All right, good. Yeah, so they have to do that interconnectivity there. That is one part of it.
Also, too, well, before you go on, also, too, we haven't even talk about the expansion of SGU.
Yeah, well, SGU falls in line with it too. Yeah. And so therefore you have to connect into the network there. That's one. The second one, with the other road there, because of the volume of the trucks, especially now with the increase in construction passing along that decall area, that is the reason that road is going through what it's going through. We have a caller online.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello,
good morning to you, and good morning to all your listeners. How are you?
We're quite fine, Minister. Wonderful to have you on. Well, we had one half, now we had the other half on.
Yeah, put two halves and you get a hole when you put two halves.
Yeah. Okay, I was not able to listen because I was part of what I consider to have been a very important meeting. That's with the management of the Methodist School in St. Andrews. So
how did that go?
I have not been able to listen, so I don't know that the other half was just on.
Minister, we're not wasting any time. We have you, and we know you have a lot of information for us. So this morning, you met with the staff at the facility, the St. Andrew Methodist School. What is the latest? How did that meeting go? What is the latest with the school? The parents are listening.
Excellent meeting. As most persons would know, that when school opened, last opening of school, we were unable to ask students of that school to report, students and teachers, unfortunately, because there was the collapse of a tank in the schoolyard. The structure would have collapsed, and so that was not the only concern. There was also some structural concern as it relates to the integrity of one of the buildings. And so we felt that with that happening, we should pause and ask Ministry of Works to do a further thorough assessment of the structural integrity of all buildings on the school compound, which they did. And since then, the students have been home for the week. Gone, now second week, and we would have been able, and we want to thank Ministry of Works for their quick response, because of course those assessments not just going to look, but the actual conclusion of the report and preparation of the report. We were able to have that report in hand yesterday, and we decided once the report was in, we take a decision, meet with the staff and management this morning, and management team this morning, and I want to say I'm happy that the decision is that school would resume on Monday morning. The general essence of the report is that, one, the main building, as you know, that school houses over 500 students. The main building is declared structurally sound and can be occupied. So what we did to close it down was in the interest of safety of all concerned. But they've declared that building to be structurally sound and that it can be occupied as usual. The wooden buildings, initially from day one, they declared those to be also structurally sound to accommodate classrooms. And so what we did from day one was to engage the grade 6 students to ensure that they were not affected in preparation for the exams coming up next week. So the grade 6 have been reporting to school, not in uniform, but they've been reporting for regular classes. The other building, which is the building that houses the staff room and the kitchen and 2 classrooms, that building has been flagged as not structurally sound to accommodate all of the persons who normally are accommodated in that building. And so the decision taken is that, one, we are going to properly cordon off that building. 2, as indicated, we are going to continue not to accommodate any activities in that building. 3, we are going to be relocating the school kitchen to, you guys are familiar with St. Andrews, so the Home Economic Center, which is next door to the school. We're going to suspend activities there to accommodate any cooking that has to take place so that the students would not be affected. There is the issue of the teachers' bathroom facilities, which we are making alternative arrangements for as well. So the commitment from the Ministry of Education, we're going to do everything possible now that we have the technical report to facilitate the resumption of classes. So 2 classes basically are going to be affected, and the decision is that those 2 classes will be accommodated on Monday, which is grade 5. They're going to be accommodated next door at the church facility, and they're going to be accommodated there for about 3 days when the grade 6, who are going to be doing exams in less than about a week, they would be moved over there while that grade 5, the 2 grade 5, moved to the rooms occupied currently by grade 6. So it means that we would be very close to normal as of Monday.
Minister, with that said, is there yet in place a schedule for the demolition or repair of that building that has been found to be unsound?
Right.
And for any further development at that facility?
Right. So there is no need to demolish. The structure is not sound to be occupied, but it is not bad to the extent that it needs to be demolished. What needs to happen is that we now need to strengthen 2 pillars in that building. And the period for that is estimated to be 1 month. For the actual work, and then another work, not a very technical person. So they said we need another month for the curing of the pillars. So that we're going to afford. The fact that the building was cordoned off, they can proceed with that work as school resume to normal.
Wonderful. Now, we know outside of the Methodist school, we know the parents would be very glad to hear this. Because we know, especially for those in who are about to do CPA. Yeah.
No, but the CPA.
But they were doing classes.
Explain again. CPA was never affected.
Yeah, they were doing classes.
They continued as normal. They reported back to school as normal, and they're doing all of their routine classes. So the other from grade 5 downwards. But you're right. Not just parents, but even the teachers I spoke to today, they say we're relieved because we really wanted to get back to the classroom.
Yeah.
So everybody would be happy. I was making a joke with them to say I'm not sure if all students would be happy because normally some students would be happy for every opportunity
They're going for
to
mango.
play a little more and to have a little more fun. But we're making sure that we're back to school on Monday.
Okay, Minister, we've also heard that CXC paid a visit to Grenada quite recently. How did that go forward? What came out of that meeting, and how was the meeting generally?
So that was another very positive one, excellent in terms of the feedback, the responses. So as you know, some time ago, historically now, to give a background, the Grenada Union of Teachers issued a statement asking teachers not to mark SBAs. Fortunately, by that time, the SBAs were more or less completed in terms of marking, and people had already started entering. So we reminded the schools of the importance of SBAs and also their responsibility. The fact that we see SBAs as part of the normal responsibility of assessment stated in the Education Act, which is one of the responsibility of teachers. So we did that, and we continue to get the support of principals and teachers. You also had the Conference of Churches, understanding again to the importance of SBAs, especially to those students who are preparing for exams. They also issued a statement calling on teachers to do what they should do in and as I've said on many occasions, I want to commend principals and teachers for their response positively to this. Now, we felt that there was a need for CXC to be on the ground to provide more information, because I'm convinced that lack of information could be part of the problem. So CXC came in and they had some engagement with parents. They also had engagement with teachers separate from principals, and they also had engagement with Ministry of Education officials. The feedback from CXC was extremely positive. The feedback I have had from all other persons involved, teachers, parents, were also very positive in that many persons, including teachers, said to me, I'm happy that we did this because I'm far clearer now on a couple things. Some things I did not know, even when some of those things were on the CXC website for a couple of years now, So it was an enlightening moment. But I want to pinpoint the part that I want to commit to, because I believe when it comes to SBAs, the ministry has also a critical responsibility, and we may not have done our best in that regard as well. I'm always first to declare those things. Now, SBAs require a measure of supervision and monitoring that I don't believe we have done sufficient of. So more of our officers need to be on the ground in the school, monitoring what is happening and ensuring what has to happen is happening at the time that it's supposed to be happening. So I'll give you a perfect example. A week before the deadline for an SBA, a student should not be starting an SBA. They should have started that a year ago, or in some cases 2 years ago. So I believe we also have to accept some responsibility for what has happened to turn into SBA seeming to be publicly a final exam. It's not. It's an assessment that is continuous. It's a provision where students can upgrade themselves, develop their skills, and get an opportunity to get the best possible score going into the sitting of their final exams. So we will do what we have to do. I can commit to that. And we expect that our teachers and principals, and this is ongoing, we would continue to engage CXC and get them on the ground. They've promised to be back here in very short time so that we can engage even more persons in terms of what support they would need, what probably clarification they need, explanations, and so on. So that went extremely well, and I am very grateful to all of the teachers, principals, and parents who attended the different sessions. I'm also very grateful to CXC for accepting to come here at their own cost to facilitate those sessions.
Minister, I know that you as Minister of Education, as always, want to meet with your staff and those basically who falls under your portfolio, which includes the teachers and the teachers union. Have you yet met with the new executive of the Grenada Union of Teachers?
Okay. So I always like to give the background to certain questions and to answer the question. Now, about a year ago, when I was asked to address the executive of the GUT, this was actually my first assignment as Minister for Education. And I recall at that, in that address, I invited the executive then to meet with me. And when we met, they did accept, and we met, and we committed to meeting once per month. And we met twice, and then the industrial action started. And, of course, nothing happened between then and sometime last week, Friday. Coincidentally, I also did the address at their recent conference, and I reminded them of the request that I made and the 2 meetings that we had, and again extended an invitation to the new executive to meet with me at the soonest possible convenience. And I did get a call from the president of the union saying that they have decided to meet, and I did accommodate them to meet last Friday. And again, forgive me if I'm using excellent 3 times, but it was an excellent meeting, very cordial, in my mind, very productive, and the objective of the meeting was met. The objective of the meeting, from my perspective, was that we wanted to, one, congratulate again. I did it at the conference, but I wanted to meet with the new executive, congratulate them. I wanted to, two, reestablish the communication lines between the ministry and the union, and that we were also able to achieve. As a matter of fact, we committed to resume meeting in 2 weeks' time. 3, we had started some discussions on outstanding matters as it relates, outstanding items as it relates to the collective agreement between the government and the GUT. And we were able to establish that these are the items outstanding. And the agreement at that meeting was that our team would meet, review in terms of timeline, review in terms of what are those things that we have done, we are doing, and then at the next meeting to present a report for discussion to the GUT. So we were also able to achieve that. And then the 4th thing I would say in terms of objective of that first meeting was to say, you know, we won't ever agree on everything, but we have work to do. Let's just settle down and get it done. And I think we've been able to achieve that as well. So it was an excellent meeting, and I want to thank the new executive for accepting the invitation, and for the members of the executive who was present, led by the President General, who attended that meeting, and we were able to have some very fruitful discussion. One thing I really want to point out, and I was extremely impressed with the union executive when they accepted that, you know, there are some issues, there are some challenges, there are some problems we need to address as it relates to the standard within the education system, the teaching profession, restoring that, you know, speaking about traditionally in the past, what it has been. Teaching has always been a vocation, something that people do, you know, with a certain standard. And I'm happy that the union agreed with us that there are some major concerns. And the union actually suggested that they want to work closer with the Ministry of Education to address some of those concerns, because at some point the union, together with the ministry, had started working on the code of ethics as it relates to persons in the teaching profession. And we also committed that this is something that would feature on every agenda going forward, code of ethics for the operation, the conduct of teachers within the system. So I can't find a better word but excellent to describe that meeting.
And we're glad, because at the end of the day, whether you're a member of the Grenada Union of Teachers or you are a member of Cabinet, it's Grenada that we're looking after. Yeah. And we're looking after the interests of our children
Sheldon,
and the nation.
Right. I mean, this thing is bigger than all of us, you know. Our children are going to be, you know, our grandchildren are going to be here. We might be gone, you know, but we're going to be leaving people we love and people we care for behind, you know. So why do we want to destroy the same thing that we want to leave for our children?
Yeah, indeed.
Madam Minister, we can't let you go without giving you an opportunity to say something.
No, not the constituency yet. Let me hold on the constituency and I have another question for Madam Minister.
Okay, so go ahead.
I'm at your mercy, so whatever you ask me to speak on, I'll speak on.
Madam Minister, I heard some statements quite recently that you made in relation to the election promise on the 2013 campaign, in relation to laptops/tablets. What is the latest in relation to that promise? Because I'm hearing about e-books and so on and an e-platform and all of that. What's the latest in relation to that?
Right. So when I made that comment, after I made it, I thought to myself, did I really say that? Yes, I did. I actually said that had I known then what I know now, I would have discouraged saying a tablet for every child. And we could have probably done that or said that because I know other countries did it, and of course with a good heart, with a genuine NNP heart, we said that, and we wanted to do that. You know, we could have gone on and do it, and I don't think it was an impossibility. We could have gone in and we could have done it just like the other countries that did it before, and we could have been in a disaster now. And so I'm a very proud NNP supporter to say today I'm happy we did not do it. Because you see, what I think we did not do then was to go a little further to see what happened in the cases where it was done. And I think that is the critical thing. To have a good heart, to have the interests of the children at heart and say you're going to do this, which is a great idea, is one thing. But I think doing it so that we can have the maximum effect, the maximum output, I think is what is critical, right? So the fact that we have not done this, I don't feel bad. I feel very comfortable that we have not done this, but that we've taken a route that would lead us to a better place. We've taken a route that would be in a better interest of our children. And what is that route? That route is to go a little beyond just giving every child a laptop. So the government of Grenada some years ago contracted an Indian company that has been looking at the whole technology aspect and how do we move further towards the issue of the whole revolutionizing of our society in terms of technology to the advantage of the society. Now, a lot of work has been done there. And, of course, I don't want to speak to that too much because there's going to be an official launch and persons are going to hear how principals and teachers have already started doing training, how they'll be able to access information online, how they're going to be able to manage data online and all of that. And I'm just speaking about the education component. I'm getting excited because it has implication for the whole of governance, whether it be you can do your passport application online, whether you know, I really don't want to go into details except to say that this is not just about a tablet. It is about a whole platform, a whole management platform, a whole e-platform that takes us to a place beyond a tablet per child. So that has been happening quietly. A lot of work has gone into that. And as I said, there's going to be a launching of that. And there are going to be a number of services that are going to be available through that platform for Grenadians in general, right? So that's something to look forward to. But specifically, let's narrow back down to that of the e-books, the tablets, and what is happening right now. So we have said, if you look at the countries that have gone the route to give a tablet and you examine carefully what has happened, in a lot of cases it failed. Why? Because the tablet is just one pillar of that whole fraction that we are talking about. It's just one segment. It's just one component. You can have the device. If you don't have good connectivity, then the device is a waste of time. So ensuring that all of our schools have the level of connectivity that they need to have is something that we've been working on. So given the device up front, by now they would have been either lost, broken, stolen, what have you. The connectivity is a critical component. Then another critical component is readiness of the people who are going to deliver the programs. So the training of principals, the training of teachers, which has started already, But you know what one country said to us? Do not ever go forward if you don't have your principals and your teachers on board. Because why? And I can give you a specific case of a country that said to us, because we've been doing the study tours, we've been doing the engagement, the best practices and so on. And one country said to us, in some schools you had the devices, they were there, but because teachers were not on board, because teachers were not trained properly, because some teachers, maybe based on the era they were born in, they're probably not very technologically inclined, and so, you have to get them on board. You have to bring them on board. While some might just grab the technology and move with it, you have to prepare. And so if that is not done well, the device would be in the classroom, but it would be of no major use to those who need to benefit from them, which is both teachers and students. So the training component is critical. Having the device is critical. The connectivity is critical. But another major element is that of content. Now, what are children going to be looking at on the tablets? So we have to decide, are we going to have a closed system, an open system? Who is producing the content for the tablet? Who is actually making sure that we have the license for the content? Who is ensuring that the content is relevant? Providing content for an entire education system is not something that's going to happen in 1 year. So the perception, just give a child a tablet. If we think deeper, we would understand that the government would be making a fundamental mistake to just give a child a tablet. And as I said in Parliament, if we do a proper check, almost every child already have a tablet anyway. So it is not just about the tablet. We have to go beyond that. Maybe the way it was said, it sounded like if that's the only thing that was important or that's the only thing that needed to be done. But I think now when we look at the mistakes that some countries made, we understand that this is critical. The device is critical. But there are some things that are even more critical, that are prerequisites for ensuring that tablet functions well. So we've identified a company that has delivered in a couple countries. We've gone in one case to examine. We've had the PS go into the classroom, observe, speak with the permanent secretary, speak with the principals, the teachers, all of that. And so we are working feverishly to test this locally. So when this is done, based on what we are planning to do, and of course we have to go through the process of getting all of the approvals necessary and so on, and going through the legal process and all that. But this is the intention. This is where we are looking to. And as a ministry, we are hoping that we can pilot this at the upper school level, test it there, assess the results, assess the impact, and then decide how we're going to roll this out and if we're going to roll it out further based on the results that we get from the pilot stage. So I want us to remove this tablet per child and look at it in a broader context. So the device, for example, with the discussion we're having, we're looking at the sturdiness of the device. Because if you're going to give every child a tablet, now, you can go and get a $50 tablet in town and decide you're going to just give every child a tablet. But again, as a government, we want to be responsible. We want to look at a device that when we do give the children a device, it is a device that can last them for the 5 years that they're going to go through secondary school, or last them for whatever number of years they go through primary school. So we are going slowly on this, not because we made a promise and we didn't keep the promise, as some people would throw this, back and forth. We made a promise, but we are convinced that we will deliver that promise, but even in a broader way than we would have committed. And that is why we are taking our time, getting it right, getting it even extended to what we promised. So we're looking not just at a tablet, but we're looking at a platform. I had the opportunity to see some live demonstrations of what a child would be able to do with that tablet. So it's not just a tablet. It's an e-platform that children would be able to do their assignments, do their assessments live, get results live. It's beyond. If you talk a tablet per child, beyond that kind of discussion. So I am very patient. I'm not concerned at all that we have not given every child a tablet. I am very satisfied that we are on the right track as it relates to the empowerment of our children, as it relates to getting our children ready for what is ahead of us technologically.
Madam Minister, there has been some indications that a number of special committees will be set up within the Ministry of Education. Can you give us some information as to where that is at this point in time?
Right. So I would say, and you seem to have been researching education.
We listening, you, Minister. We listening, you.
I would say to that, in the Ministry of Education, we've been trying to work more to rule. And I mean, that's not a joke. It's actually not a joke. Don't laugh. We've actually been trying to work to rule. Because, you see, for us, the rule is the Education Act. And when we looked through the Education Act, we thought, well, working to rule is not such a bad thing if we follow the rule. So what you just spoke today is actually in the rule, that the Minister for Education should really set up some special committees to look at issues within the education system as it relates to its improvement. The Minister for Education is supposed to ensure that we have an advisory council on which the Grenada Union of Teachers actually has 2 representatives, and that was done. A broad cross-section of our society is represented there. So we've established that. The Education Act, the rule also says that we're supposed to have a review committee. Now, that has not happened, and we work into rule. The rule says it must happen, and the rule also says that they must present a report that must be tabled in Parliament. That's how serious the rule is. The rule says the report from the committee, which is an independent report. So I can't tell them what to put in the report. If it's bad, they must say it's bad. If it's good, they must say it's good. But that report, the rule says, must be tabled in Parliament. But further, the rule says that that report must be published publicly and must be made available, and I hope you would buy a copy when it's made available, because that's what the rule says, that's what the law says, right? So we've set up a number of committees. So, for example, there's a committee that's looking at school management right now. The rule says, which is the Education Act, that's my rule, it says that every school must have a management board. Now, we know most of our schools don't have that kind of structure in terms of management. The rule says we're supposed to be inspecting our schools. So what I just dealt with there this morning, if we're doing what the rule says, if we walk into rule, that may not have been the situation today. So there's supposed to be certain processes and procedures that should be in place. And we walk into the rule a lot more now, so we've set up those committees. In addition to that, we have some serious concern as it relates to violence in some schools, as it relates to student behavior. And I'm not talking about the regular, what is expected. I mean, you don't expect every child to be perfect. And there are certain things that children would do that you accept as normal behavior. And there are some things that go beyond and you consider extremely abnormal. And so we've set up a special committee because we are going to be launching a very new program that would deal specially with some of the students in some of our schools that have become a disruption to school and might be affecting the normal flow of school. And we will be engaging the parents of those students as well in that program. So there are a number of committees that we have working aggressively. Our services, we have said, look, we've been offering a number of services, school attendance, school feeding, name it, school books. We've been offering a lot of services, costing government millions of dollars. And we've said, look, at this point, we want to assess what we do. And we want to know what is the impact of what we're doing. How much are people reached through what we are doing? So we also have a committee that is assessing now what we do. We're not afraid to be assessed. We're not afraid to be examined openly. And the reports from those committees, we intend to act aggressively on addressing some of the issues within the education system.
Wonderful.
All right, Minister, we're fast approaching the end of our program, but we can't let you leave without giving you an opportunity to say something about your constituency. And so the developments and so because there have been so many things going on in Southeast St. Andrews.
You think we could add a half hour?
Yeah, we need at least another hour, 2 hours to basically outline.
But we have 5 minutes.
We have 5 minutes.
Hello? Hello? Oh boy, look like we lost the minister.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh boy.
Hello? Okay, yeah, we got the minister. Yeah. Sorry about that, minister.
Right. So I'm going to take advantage of the 5 minutes and to ask, first of all, that we find some time that you're going to invite me just to speak about St. Andrews Southeast. But on this occasion, I want to recognize and greet the people from my constituency who are listening, say a special morning. I mean, it's the most understanding people I've met. You know, it's the people with an extraordinary love that sometimes I try to understand, you know. So I've had persons say to me, you know, Minister, we're praying for you. We understand this is a tough time. I mean, even this morning I was supposed to be in Telescope, and I committed to being there. But of course, this emergency situation that also affects parents and students in Telescope, I had to give that priority this morning. So the love and support, I mean, this has been a challenge. I mean, since I got into the seat, it's like it's been a seat that's been on fire from day one. But the support from my constituency, the understanding from my constituency, the women who are WhatsApping or calling and say, Minister, we're praying for you, we understand, you know, the challenges and so on that you face at this time. So I owe gratitude, tremendous gratitude to the people of my constituency. I also want to recognize my staff this morning because they've also been a tremendous support in that even if it has been challenging in the last couple months with the portfolio of Minister for Education, the work in the constituency continues because there's a team there that I am quite happy relying on in terms of the support they've been providing. And the volunteers, not just the staff, because what we do, the magnitude of what we do, the paid staff is not sufficient. So we have a number of people in our communities who volunteer, who support, who go beyond the call of duty, you know, to do what needs to be done. You know, so I walked into the constituency office yard and there's a barbecue taking place and I said, oh my God, do you all have a barbecue? I didn't even remember, you know, and the barbecue was a major success. So they asked me for what they need and they get the job done. And I really want to say, you know, to the team, the committees, the finance committee, the youth committee, the women's committee, the staff at the office, the people who drive things, you know, I really want to express gratitude. And to say to persons at the community level that we've been doing our regular village meetings. We never stop. We're on our third rung already for this year. And we intend to be in Crochet, I believe is our next stop. We were in Hope a couple nights ago, Telescope a few weeks ago. And we continue our village meetings, letting people know what are the services we provide, what are the support systems that we have in place for them, and how we can work even closer together in terms of building communities. So I just want to again say thanks to my constituents for the continued love and support, and to say to them, I continue to be totally committed to the work of building this constituency.
Yes, indeed, Minister. And we know, how is the resource center at Telescope going, though?
Actually, I was there only yesterday because we had actually one television station came up because they heard about it and they wanted to see what was happening. They came off guard, so thank God we always do our word. we do what we say we actually do. So that program is running, I mean, exceptionally well. We do have the soft furnishing training program taking place there on afternoons. We have the data operation program taking place there as well. What is beautiful about the data operation program is that it involves not just computer work that they do, but it involves a number of other things, little accounting, numeracy and literacy, communication skills, a number of other softer sides of the coin. And in addition to that, we also provide special services for the children of those people who are in training and probably don't have somebody to take care of them. So that is another service we offer there. But we're determined to make that center a model because I've seen in so many communities, government invests so much money in those, and then, even persons in the community destroy it, the way that they... So we've been insisting, let's try to make this a model. So we have somebody who work at the center, basically managing the facility and ensuring that we have constant programs running for the benefit of people. We're looking at the medical side of it. From next week, we're going to have a doctor and a nurse coming there, to offer services and so on. So we want to duplicate that. We want to spread that throughout the constituency, of course, not in the magnitude, because, of course, you have to have the place that it can happen. But the concept of it, how do you use the resources in the community for community development? And the people of Telescope have been amazing in terms of their support for this project. As I said to the media yesterday, they were asking, why a community center, or why was that the priority? And I said to them, since I started working in that community, every year when we do prioritizing of the needs of the community, every single year, that facility and the need for that facility featured number one every year consistently. And I don't ever do a major project in any community without the community determining that that is what they want. So I'm really happy. I mean, from as way back of the days of Uncle Gary, this facility has been spoken of. And I'm happy that we were able to do this with the full support of the community. And, what they've done is really amazing in terms of making it happen.
Yeah, I know, Minister, in 2007, while you're public relation officer, we were doing a trip there in following the sewing program that you had in Telescope. And we did make a visit to that location. That would have been 2007. We made a visit to that location, the coffee plant.
Your memory is sharper than mine, but
I still have photos,
I
still have the photos.
There's a story about this that I get very emotional every time I tell it, but I think I may have gotten over it by now, hopefully. That training program that you're speaking about, if you recall, it was taking place in the primary school.
Yes.
And it was a challenge securing the machines that we spent over $20,000 getting these machines and materials and so on. So we were really looking forward to a facility that could be called home for a program like that. But that's not the sad part of the story. The sad part of the story is that we're literally starting over. Because if you recall, at that time the conversation was, let us move into sewing school shirts for the school and setting up a small business for the women in the program. That's where we got to in terms of the discussion. And then the election came in 2008, and that's the part I get emotional about. The machines were all taken away on instructions, and they were dumped in a storeroom at the youth center, and I literally almost cried when I saw them about maybe 8 years after thereabout. And, you really wish that you could have turned the clock back and continued from, where you started. And, of course, we had an opportunity now. It's not the same. We would have been so far advanced in the process. But I was amazed, Sheldon, when I saw what the ladies were doing when I visited yesterday. And we're talking about just about a month, they started that particular class. And they are learning so quickly. They are so excited. They are so interested. The facilitator said to me, this is such a wonderful group of women. And again, I want to say to the persons who have been supporting this, who have been saying, it doesn't matter, let's continue, because some people got discouraged, after having to give up and having to, resort to just hoping that something can happen again. Thank God we've been able to do it again, and we have to find a way to protect it this time.
Yes, indeed. Minister, we'd like to thank you for being on with us. We know you with all the meetings that you had this morning and so on, and the ups and downs. And the constituents go upset because we take from the time this morning. But they're reasonable people. We know they'll understand.
No, they're the best people in the world.
Yeah, they're reasonable. They'll understand. So we'd like to thank you so very much for joining us on Hard Talk this morning and the wonderful job that you have been doing and continue to do, both at the ministry level and constituency level and party level, at all different levels that you continue to do. I would like to thank you so very much for that.
And thank you too for having me, and continue the good job you guys are doing.
All right. Thank you so very much, Minister. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Yes, folks, we have been speaking with the Member of Parliament for St. Andrews Southeast, Public Relation Officer of the New National Party, Minister of Education. Yeah.
A mother, a wife.
We ain't talk about the church yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't talk about the church yet.
A prominent, person within the church. And most of all, a parliamentary, an excellent parliamentary representative. A woman with heart. She's in touch with the people of her constituency and so on. And they could not have, got a better parliamentary representative. They deserve her.
Yeah, they got the best.
All the best.
So forget the rest.
Yes.
All right.
The best is there to stay.
We've gone over our time, which is something we've been trying not to do these days.
Yes. It was unavoidable.
Unavoidable, especially when you're having such an important conversation. Yeah, so folks, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Hard Talk. It's been wonderful being here with you, and whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
Not about you.
Yeah, and we will end up at one of the places that had a sewing program too, Yeah, we're going back to that song again.
Come on, Sava Mama Can, land of roots and culture.
On Friday, May 10th, the most anticipated food and drink event is upon us again as the RGPF Police Week Comedy presents Food Fest 2019. Pearls Strip is the venue as the clubs of the RGPF join forces with the Grenada Customs, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Grenada Airports Authority, and will all compete for culinary supremacy. From 12 midday, food goes on sale. Each participating club will prepare and present a variety of local dishes, which will be judged and critiqued based on taste, presentation, use of ingredients, and applied knowledge. I'm telling you, these guys and girls could cook. And as evening simmers in, the action gets turned up with music, top DJs, artists, live band, queen and king contestant appearances. Food Fest 2019, Pearls Strip, Friday, 10th May. The perfect family event.
We are just days away from concert royalty.
Driver! Don't stop at all.
As the Long Walk to Freedom Tour touches down in Grenada.
Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money and thing.
The anticipation is building for the return of a living icon, Buju Banton. Backed by his Shiloh Band. Also featuring reggae sensation Ghost with his band. And Sister Joyce from the UK. Your local stars gracing the stage on that night. Laura Lisa, Samantha Cole, Kevon Niles, aka Double Standard, and Kalia Benjamin with an accompanied appearance by Tevin Phillip, aka Triple. Get your tickets now from all advertised outlets. Sunshine Promotions in association with Digicel present A Night of Love. Long Walk to Freedom Tour. Saturday, May 11th. Grenada National Stadium.
Grenada becomes one of Liat's main shareholders. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, May 7th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Grenada is now one of the 5 main shareholders of regional airline Liat, joining Antigua, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Dominica. Government has contributed $1.3 million to the cash-strapped Antigua-based carrier, which means this country will now have a greater say in the affairs of the airline. That announcement was made by CARICOM Affairs Minister, the Honorable Oliver Joseph, during the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday. He says the decision to support the airline means a gain in revenue and economic development.
Grenada is now the 5th shareholder in the airline. So together with the governments of Barbados, Antigua, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada at that meeting is now accepted as the 5th main shareholder in LIAT. What that means? It means that the government, cabinet has taken a decision to continue to support LIAT. When we look at the figures from the number of passengers that LIAT brings to Grenada, of course the multiplier effect is great. LIAT brings in thousands of visitors to Grenada every year. And therefore, from an economic and social point of view, Grenada had to support LIAT.
At a recently concluded shareholders meeting in Antigua, it was suggested that LIAT take a business-like approach and restructure to become more efficient and more profitable. A committee has been established to look at the restructuring of the airline, and a report is expected to be submitted to shareholder governments sometime soon. The airline adopted the minimum revenue guarantee framework, which is designed to address revenue shortfall.
The aim of the framework is to address revenue shortfall caused by flights that fail to achieve viable or profitable routes. Grenada pledged to continue supporting LIAT, and a number of models have been examined. I say the minimum revenue guarantee is one of them. So it's based on a load factor. So that if a flight from, say, Grenada to Trinidad or Grenada to Barbados is not selling as it should in terms of their number of seats, what we're saying is that we will contribute to the seats, that's why it's called the load factor, to enable the flight to still operate between Grenada and the destination that is going to.
Minister Joseph says LIAT is in a dire financial situation, and Grenada's contribution is to ensure that it continues flying.
If you're operating business, you will look at the routes that are unprofitable, obviously, because if you're losing money, right? If you're losing money, you wouldn't want to continue servicing a route that you're losing money on. So all this will be taken in consideration in the restructuring of LIAT. And what the model is looking at, if the government, right, I use the example of LIAT from Grenada to Trinidad or Grenada to Barbados. So if they're losing money on the route, and the government is prepared to contribute to ensure that they break even, that is an option also that is on the table. So if you want to continue servicing that route, we want LIAT to continue servicing, then the government will have to contribute to ensure that LIAT break even on the route and does not lose money.
Minister for Education, Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, the Honorable Emmeline Pear, has had cordial and productive discussions with the new executive of the Grenada Union of Teachers. At a recent meeting, Minister Pear and members of the GUT executive discussed a number of matters, including outstanding items from the collective bargaining agreement. It was at the GUT's recent annual conference that the Education Minister issued the call for continued dialogue, and the recent meeting presented an opportunity to discuss matters relating to education, as well as to congratulate the new executive. Productivity, professionalism, and a code of ethics for teachers were also among the main agenda items at the meeting. Further dialogue on the matters discussed will take place when another meeting is convened in 2 weeks. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The safety on our roads make this a major priority. Health of our people, a crucial necessity. Accidents happen when road users are either irresponsible or inconsiderate in one way or the other. Play your part. Reduce your speed. Be attentive. It is your personal responsibility. Let 2017 be the start of no more road fatality. Be safe, be seen, be smart. So let's wise up as a nation. Get to your destination safe.
Continuing the news, Grenada has been named as one of the 3 CARICOM countries with the highest level of compliance with respect to the implementation of CARICOM decisions. Jamaica and Guyana were the other 2 countries named during a recent meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Development Quartet in Guyana. Grenada's Trade Minister, the Honorable Oliver Joseph, says it demonstrates this government's belief in the process of regional integration.
As you know, the concern of what is called the implementation deficit has been discussed throughout the region, that CARICOM heads may take decision and member states fail to implement. So it was very refreshing to hear that Grenada is in the top 3 of the member states that implement decision of CARICOM when it is taken. And this is because the government strongly believes in regional integration, because we believe our economic development, investment, and the open market in the Caribbean can assist us to grow and develop and provides opportunity for our small and medium enterprise to grow and share in this Caribbean community market.
Minister Joseph says the country's rate is measured based on the work it has done through legal instruments and otherwise.
Visa for Haitian nationals. The CARICOM heads of government at their last meeting said that visa requirement should be removed for Haitian nationals. You will recall Barbados was the first country to announce that they remove visa restriction for Haitian. So when you're reporting at the meeting, they will ask each member state, what have you done? And if they come with over 5 or 3, so they know the amount that has complied with the decision of heads. That's how they measure it. Each member state must report on what they have done, whether it's through legal instrument or administratively, to give effect to the decisions of heads. And that's how Grenada, Jamaica, and Guyana are ranked in the top 3.
Promo Caribbean, Promo Grenada has pledged to make a significant contribution to the Grand Bacolet Juvenile Rehabilitation Center of an application that will allow for iOS and Android devices. The cost to develop the application for the center will be in the tune of $25,000. Simon Green is one of the local representatives for Promo Caribbean, Promo Grenada, which was one of the sponsors of the just concluded NYPD humanitarian tour to Grenada. The announcement came during the group's visit to the facility.
We're going to be sponsoring a website and an app, all right, developed, with our techs to ensure we can support the educational goals of the center, which can also be used as a platform for raising funds and support and really networking. We're also going to put a challenge out to everyone that's here to perhaps adopt or mentor an individual in this facility here and build a relationship through just emails and letters and what have you, and whatever guidance that they can provide as they move through these phases, because I know I'm seeing success in front of me and we want to be a part of this. So again, it's a pleasure for us to make that donation and that link between the center and our network.
A discussion will be held between the Promo Caribbean team and the management of the center regarding development of the application. Promo Caribbean, Promo Grenada began with the idea of bringing the Caribbean community together at home and abroad by creating a platform to expose a diverse and rich Caribbean region. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.